said is that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon because they would use it against places that have a lot of Catholics and Christians and others, for that matter. It goes back to the central point. I think the president, without trying to speak for him, but I think I can characterize it this way: he doesn't understand why anybody, leave aside the Pope, the president, and I, for that matter, I think most people, I cannot understand why anyone would think that it's a good idea for Iran to ever have a nuclear weapon. Look what they're doing with the Straits right now. They're holding the whole world hostage. They have these sailors, on commercial ships that are going to starve to death out there. They don't care. They don't care that this is melting down the economies around the world, even of their own allies. This is what they're doing with the Straits. What do you think they would do if they had a nuclear weapon? They would hold the world hostage with that nuclear weapon. That's what they would do. They would do exactly to the world with a nuclear weapon what they're doing now with the Straits. And I think the president's point is how anyone cannot see that as an unacceptable outcome and an unacceptable risk is beyond him. It's puzzling. And someone has to do something about it. The difference between this president and like the 6 presidents that preceded him were that he's the only one that's actually been willing to do something about it. Everyone says Iraq can't have a nuclear weapon. But you got to do something about it at some point. And he's been willing to address that threat. And that's what he promised he would do when he got elected, by the way, is address threats like this. Yeah, I wish I knew your name.
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary.
Can you put name tags on?
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary.
Who are you with?
I'm with Banjoe Media Network.
Okay.
Mr. Secretary, the president has said multiple times that weapons were provided to the Kurdish groups to pass on the Iranian people. However, Kurdish political parties and the regional government says they have not received such weapons. Even some claim these weapons remain in the U.S. base in the region. Can you clarify who those weapons were given to and whether you intend to retrieve them or still want to pass to the Iranian people?
Yeah, look, ultimately, what the president is expressing, and I think has repeatedly, is he wished the Iranian people had, look, he's heartbroken by these images. You think about it, you're an Iranian, okay? You're unhappy that your economy doesn't work for you. You don't have freedom. You don't have an opportunity to express yourself. You've got friends that have been shot in the head because they're out protesting. And it's heartbreaking to him to see that these people are abused in this way and have no measures to take against their own government as a result of it. By the way, this goes back, if you guys remember the protests in 2009 where they slaughtered people. This is a vicious regime, guys. Okay? These are people that hang people from cranes in the town square so everyone can see that. They continue these executions of people and have continue to do so for over a decade and a half now. And so I think what the president is expressing is the desire that he wishes the Iranian people had an ability to fight back against some of these things that are happening to them. And I would view that as distinct and separate from the specifics of this operation that was ongoing before it was concluded, and certainly the operation that's going on now.
An agreement between Lebanon and Israel without risking a civil war in Lebanon? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh my God. So look, here's the challenge for Lebanon. Okay, there's no problem between the Lebanese government and the Israeli government. Israel doesn't claim any land in Lebanon belongs to them. And by and large, I think it's issue between Lebanon and Israel is innately the problem with Israel Lebanon is not Israel or Lebanon, it's Hezbollah. Hezbollah operates inside Lebanese territory. They terrorize and attack the Israelis, but they also are inflicting tremendous damage on the Lebanese people. The reason why Lebanon gets attacked by Israel is because of Hezbollah. Because Hezbollah is hiding in some house, launching rockets against Israelis, and then they get hit. So what you're seeing now is Israeli responses to either attacks or perceived threats. And this is not new. This has been going on for a very long time. What is our hope? Our hope is to engage the Lebanese and Israeli governments under our mediation at the table to achieve this. And that is having Lebanese armed forces and a Lebanese government, not just with a willingness, but with the capability to begin to challenge Hezbollah and disarm them. Because the Lebanese people are also victims of Hezbollah. And by the way, on the topic of Hezbollah in Lebanon, who is behind Hezbollah? Why do they exist? They're an agent of Iran. If you go to that Middle East and you identify every problem, Hamas, Hezbollah, to some extent the Houthis, obviously, and others, and behind every one of these groups is Tehran. So apart from the nuclear weapons, apart from all these other things, these guys are behind all the bad actors. Hezbollah is a wing. It's an extension of Iranian desire to destabilize the region. So we're very committed to this process. It's not going to be easy. You're asking me a complex question. This has been going on for a very long time. It's not going to be easy. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that both sides continue to talk so that progress can be made. on some sort of permanent ceasefire that isn't constantly spoiled by Hezbollah and by Hezbollah violence. Right there. I'm winging it, guys. Okay, right there. Yes.
You mentioned the 2 U.S. ships that safely crossed the Strait of Hormuz. Are other ships being told it's safer to get back to regular levels, or are we still going to see limits in place for the foreseeable future?
For obvious reasons, I'm not going to broadcast who we're talking to or who we're telling them to move. I mean, we want these operations to be safe, and I think as it unfolds and ships get through, we'll make those announcements after the fact, just for operational security purposes. But the goal here is pretty simple. Establish a zone of transit that is protected by a bubble, the United States, both naval and air assets, and then allow ships who want to move through there and get to market, to begin to increase confidence in the ability to do so. That doesn't happen in 12 hours. It takes time to set up that bubble and gain that confidence, but that's the goal. We have been in touch. We've been in touch, I don't know, with a bunch of different liners about moving, and we're hoping to continue to improve the security situation, and we'll start to see some of that movement, and we'll announce it as it happens after the fact. We're not going to be like broadcasting, hey, tomorrow at 12, ship's actually going to be coming through, for obvious reasons, because that degrades the security. But we feel confident we're going to be able to achieve that. Look, it's not going to solve the whole Straits problem. It's going to solve a lot of it, but it's important to challenge what Iran is doing now. Guys, again, if you take anything away today, and I can't tell you what to write, but Iran cannot be allowed to normalize this control of the Straits. It's completely unlawful, illegal. It's outrageous. And every country in the world should be joining us and condemning it and doing something about it. But the United States has stepped up and is trying to.
Regarding Colombia, Mr. Secretary,
I'm sorry, we'll see if we get to Colombia today. Go ahead. I don't interrupt you.
I was curious about your meeting with Southcom earlier. There was a picture, a map of Cuba behind you. What did you discuss with Southcom about Cuba? Did you have any updates?
I'm not going to tell you that because that's just
but it had to do something with Cuba.
No, well, I mean, Cuba is Southcom. You know, it's the closest part. And so the second point, I was there, our ambassadors ran in the whole Western Hemisphere. I was addressing them, meeting the general who took command of Southcom, and there happened to be a map of Cuba. And I said, it'd be good if we took a picture in front of that map because it's like the closest thing in Southcom to the United States. So there it is. We have maps of other countries. No, they didn't have that map there. In the red, right there in the red.
In the red, okay. Can I ask you in Spanish or can I ask you?
Yeah, you can answer in Spanish. You can answer in English. Do I have to translate for them when you ask?
Well, I'll say it in English and if you can answer in both languages. The webpage of the State Department, and there's still a $25 million bounty on Diosdado Cabello, the Secretary of the Interior, for drug trafficking and narco-terrorism. I was wondering if that has been put on hold or if you're negotiating with President Delcy Rodriguez to turn him over.
Yeah, I don't have any updates for you on that. The website is what it is, and that's where it stands. That policy hasn't changed. But guys, let's be mature here a little bit. I'm not going to tell you about what we're talking about with the leader of this country.
El Departamento de Estado sigue considerando a Diosdado Cabello un narcoterrorista y un narcotraficante, como dice la página del Departamento de Estado.
La política de Estados Unidos en ese tema no ha cambiado, y cuando cambie te dejaremos saber. The politics of the United States on that, the policy of the United States on that topic hasn't changed. When it does, obviously we'll inform you, but I don't have any news for you on that today. Right there in the green. I'll get to you. Are you guys all the TV people?
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry, go. I'm learning. They gave me a little map. I don't know where I put it. Some of you have like red X's. I'm kidding. No, you don't. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. The average price of gas in the country right now is $4.50. Do you have a thought on how long Americans are supposed to kind of accept this? Do you think it will affect Republicans' majorities in the midterm?
Well, I'm not going to speculate on the politics of it. You can tell me, look, it's obviously being driven by global events. That was true during the Russia-Ukraine war as well, where you saw that come up. Look, we don't benefit from the Straits as much as other countries. I don't know if you've seen what the gas prices are like in other parts of the world that are really suffering big time. So we're very fortunate that the United States, I believe right now, is like the world's largest net exporter of oil and natural gas as a result, not because of the oil, because we have this capacity. So we've been insulated to some degree. We're obviously still vulnerable to some extent to global prices, but in the end, we're more insulated than other countries, even though that's not welcome news to Americans that are paying more at the pump, no doubt about it. And it certainly is one of the circumstances of it. There are people that we're predicting would be much higher at this point, but we're not taking that for granted. Suffice it to say that think about it this way. Everybody needs to think about it this way. If Iran had a nuclear weapon and they decided to close the Straits and make our gas prices like $9 a gallon or $8 a gallon, we wouldn't be able to do anything about it because they have a nuclear weapon. And a nuclear armed Iran can do whatever the hell they want with the Straits, and there's nothing anyone will be able to do about it. And that's one of the many reasons, apart from like the massive loss of life in a nuclear strike, why Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. I mean, so this is an example of if they had a nuclear weapon, they closed the Straits and they would tell the world, what are you going to do about it? We have a nuclear weapon, we can attack you with it. That's the world none of us want to leave behind. It won't happen under this president's watch. But the future president and future, and the future Americans will have to deal with this. So just one more example of why these guys can never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. Where are you in the black? Yes, ma'am. Where are you? No, right there. I'm telling you, both are wearing black. She's close. No, you don't have black. You have blue on. I'm colorblind, but I know blue and black. Right there. Yes, ma'am. No, you. The first one I called on.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is chaos, guys. Go ahead.
Welcome to the White House.
You've long been a leading voice on human rights in China, so including religious persecution and forced organ harvesting. So President Trump prepares to meet Xi Jinping next week. Do you expect human rights concerns to be on the table?
Well, we always raise those issues, and they remain true. And I think we've proven in some cases it's most effective to raise them in the appropriate setting. But we always raise those issues. They're important to us, among with others, of course. But those issues remain prominent in our view and in our conversation about these things. And we'll continue to raise them in the appropriate forums.
Life here is work.
Just make it work. We think that have secrets, people with secrets can be useful.
You can't show secrets.
You still have to play.
You mentioned earlier that some countries have privately and publicly indicated their willingness to help with project agreement. Can you say how many have reached the U.S. with the offers of help and what kind of capabilities?
Well, I mean, thank you for your question. That's a good question. I mean, multiple countries have said we got to do something about it and fix it.
Or single digits or more than 100?
I don't know. I don't put a number on it. I would just tell you that here's what I would say about it. The capabilities is the issue. Okay, a lot of countries would love to do something about it. They don't have a navy, right? They can't get there in time, or they can't. Others, that some unfortunately do have a navy are saying, "Oh, we'll be involved, but we'll be involved after it's over." Well, after it's over, it's kind of like doesn't make sense. So we'd like to have it, and there may be some utility in a post closure mission. I'm not downplaying that, but I think that's been the challenge. But there are other ways they can help, unique ways that they can help. And I don't want to get into who these countries are for obvious reasons, because they are prepared to help us in certain ways, but maybe don't want that publicly disclosed for no other reason than it impacted foreign policy. It could have some domestic ramifications. But ultimately, I don't want to mislead you. The primary responsibility for this project is on the United States, because we're the only country that can project power.
Yeah, I'm working on it again.
We're doing now. We're the only
Started last night.
and we're going to do it as a favor to the world.
Here, I'll show you an example. Careful with it though.
Their ships that are stranded, their fuel supplies that are stranded. By the way, it's their humanitarian aid destined for different countries in the world. The Persian Gulf right now.
Just you can hold it from the base.
No,
It's okay. You can
I'll
touch
drop
it.
That's
pretty heavy duty.
That's the island.
That's the top part of it.
Yeah.
It's bigger. I'm working on the base part. Yep.
Oh. A small price to pay for getting rid of a nuclear weapon, but 10 are we any closer to getting rid of Iran's nuclear material?
Yeah, but here's the way to think about Iran, and this is what I described at the very beginning of this. What was Iran's plan? You have to understand what their plan was. Their plan was they were going to build this conventional shield where they would have so many thousands of missiles and drones and rockets that they couldn't be attacked. And behind that conventional shield that they were trying to build, they would then break out and do whatever they wanted with their nuclear program. They no longer have that conventional shield. Okay, we told you guys from the very beginning, and we're very consistent in this messaging. the operation that has concluded was going to destroy their Navy. They have no Navy left. They don't. Not a Navy. They have small boats in Boston whalers, but they don't have a Navy left. They don't have an Air Force. I challenge you. When is the last time you read or heard about an Iranian jet flying anywhere? They don't have an Air Force. Their missile launching capability has been substantially degraded, and their industrial base, their defense industrial base, has been severely, severely damaged. So their ability to build a shield behind which they could hide their nuclear program was wiped out. That's a very substantial achievement, and that was the purpose of this operation from day one.
Nuclear material,
Well, that's one of the topics we need to discuss. I don't know about you. I think they're linking it. The operation is over. That period, the President North Carolina, we're done with that stage of it. Okay, we're now on to this project of freedom. As far as the negotiation is concerned, I think the President's been clear that part of the negotiation process has to be not just the enrichment, but what happens to this material that's buried deep somewhere that they still have access to if they ever wanted to dig it out. That has to be addressed, and that's being addressed in the negotiation. I'm not going to go further on what progress has been made on that topic because I don't want to endanger the negotiations, but suffice to say that the President and this entire team is aware of the centrality of that question, and that will have to be addressed one way or the other. Right there. Right there. Thank you.
Two-part question for you. First, are you taking part in those negotiations? There. And secondly, the President has been clear that the U.S. doesn't rely on the Strait of Hormuz. So why should Americans even care about Project Freedom and these shipping tankers going through?
Well, I think on the second point is the one I want to address first, and that is why should Americans care and why it matters to us? Because ultimately these things have an impact on the global economy, which ultimately has an impact on our economy in the long term. That's number one. Number two, because if we live in a world where a rogue state like this Iranian regime is allowed to claim as a new normal control of our international shipping lane, it will not be long before you see that happen in multiple shipping lanes around the world. I can identify for you six or seven vital shipping lanes around the world that some countries can decide, guess what? If Iran was able to do it, we're going to do it too. We're not going to start charging tolls, and it'll get closer and closer to us. That's unacceptable. We cannot live in a world that there's a lot of time and energy been invested in behind the idea that international waters are free for the free flow of goods. The stuff we make in this country and export has to go through international shipping lanes. And for us to live in a world where a country can decide now we own the international shipping lane and you have to pay us if you want to use it, that is a normal that we will never be able to accept. And that's what the Iranians are trying to get us to do. So we're doing two things about it, and we haven't talked about the second one enough. The second thing we're doing is we're going to the UN. Everybody loves the UN, right? We're trying to go to the UN, and we're saying, okay, countries of the world, condemn this. Say that it is wrong for you to put mines there. It is wrong for you to shoot at commercial vessels. Guys, that's what we're talking about here. These guys are bombing commercial vessels. They're not bombing naval vessels. They're bombing commercial tankers. It's outrageous. That needs to stop, and it needs to end. And if it doesn't, then the world should be diplomatically and economically isolating Iran as well. But if we live in a world where global shipping lanes can be taken over by countries, that'll have a direct impact on Americans in the short and the long term, and we can't let it start by Iran doing it. And we're the only ones that can do anything about it. All right.
Mr. Secretary, does the President intend to press Beijing on its Taiwan policy when he visits China next week?
I'm sure Taiwan will be a topic of conversation. It always is. As you know, we understand the Chinese understand our position on that topic. We understand theirs. And I think both parties, again, without getting ahead of myself of what will happen in the talks, but I think both countries understand that it is neither one of our interests to see anything destabilized happen in that part of the world. We don't need any destabilizing events to occur with regards to Taiwan or anywhere in the Indo-Pacific. And I think that's to the mutual benefit of both the United States and the Chinese. What happened? Why is everybody giggling? What happened? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, they're not me.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they are. I hope not. But I'm Carol from LTV, and nice to ask you a question today, sir. How does the State Department interpret the President's recent remarks when he said, quote, the Iranian people need to have guns, and I think they're getting some guns, end quote. What did he mean, and do those comments relate to any ongoing or potential U.S. actions like supplying those weapons?
Well, I think it goes back to the question I was asked a moment ago. I think the President thinks it's heartbreaking that the Iranian people are abused by this regime the way they are. In the end, I mean, this regime is not fun. Guys, I know I've said this. I think I said this in my hearing before the Senate when I got confirmed. I don't know of any country in the world where there's a bigger difference between the people and the people who run the country. Okay, this country is run by radical Shia clerics. And that's not what Iran and the Iranian people are. Now, they may be Shia, but they're not radicals, and they're not clerics, and they just want a normal life and a regular life, and in many ways a very cosmopolitan country with an incredible history, and incredible legacy and the like. So there's this huge divide between the people of Iran, whom we sympathize with, and who the president sympathizes with, because they're the ones suffering. Look, the world is a victim of Iran, okay? The world is a victim of Iran because they're terrorists, because of what they're doing now in the street. But the people of Iran are daily victims of the regime, and the president has deep sympathy for what they're going through. And I think he's just expressing that sympathy and that frustration that they don't have the ability to do more to get rid of this regime that has crushed this country and isolated it from the world, which is a country that should be isolated from the world because its people are phenomenal. All right. I wish I had like a nice. Go ahead. No, right there. I'm going to Italy. Where Italia? Okay. He's Italian. I know him. He used to cover Capitol Hill. You're Italian, right? For many years.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. So I have two short questions for you.
Oh, first question.
First, that you head to the Vatican and Italy, how do you view the Pope's global role and the current geopolitical shift? And what are your objectives in Italy? Is this trip tied to recent remarks by the president suggesting Italy has not been foreign as expected? And the second one is about the Hezbollah in Lebanon. On a recent interview on Fox News, you raised some concern about stronger backing within the Lebanese armed forces. What do you make? Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, I've answered the first one about the Vatican. Look, I mean, the Pope is obviously the vicar of Christ of the Roman Catholic, but he's also the head of a nation state, and it's an organization that has a presence in over 100-something countries around the world. And we engage with the Vatican quite a bit because they're present in many different places. I've already outlined to you 2 examples. We work with the Catholic Church on the distribution of humanitarian aid in Cuba. We share with the Catholic Church a concern about the destruction of religious liberty, the persecution of Christian minorities, and also, the challenges that are being faced by Christians in Africa, where the Pope just recently visited. So we have a lot to talk about with them, and I engage with them quite a bit on that front. So the trip is really not tied to anything other than the fact that it would be normal for us to engage with them, and other Secretary of States have done that in the past. On the second point about Lebanon, also a question that was asked earlier, and what was the Italian part?
About the expectation that the president.
Oh no! Look, I mean, the Italians have been involved for some time in training the police and training their forces, so we'd love to hear their input on it. And in the way, look, we welcome everybody's help eventually. What has to happen in Lebanon, what everybody wants to see, is that you have a Lebanese government with the capability to go after Hezbollah and take the Hezbollah apart. There shouldn't be a Hezbollah and a government. There should be a government. Everyone should fold underneath it. And if we do that, then there'll be peace between Israel and Lebanon. But we have to build the capacity of the Lebanese to do it. And I think Italy could be helpful in that regard. All right. Did I call on you already? You already got a question in the green. Did I call on you already? Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So you mentioned the UN resolution that
Yes.
you announced today. Can you talk about what the goal is with that resolution? And there was a similar one last month that was vetoed by China and Russia. You spoke to the Russian foreign minister. Do you have an assurance that Russia will be on board with this now?
Well, we don't know. Look, I mean, everyone would want to see this vetoed again, and then we've made some slight adjustments to the language, but I don't know if it'll avoid a veto or not. But the language isn't very complicated. And I think it's a real test for the UN, right? As something that functions that can solve global problems. What is the purpose of the UN? The UN was supposed to be a place where you could peacefully resolve global conflict. Right now, you have a country who is unlawfully, criminally, and illegally taking possession of an international waterway and blowing up commercial vessels and putting mines in the water. I don't know if people appreciate how outrageous this is, how unacceptable it is that any country would fire and try to sink commercial vessels or put mines in the water. Both of these things are illegal. And so we're going to take it to the UN, and we're going to give it another chance to be a forum in which we're not even asking people to commit troops to the region and help blow up the Iranian boat. All we're asking them to do is to condemn it, to call on Iran to stop blowing ships, to remove these mines, and to allow humanitarian relief to come through because there's humanitarian aid that's trapped. That's it. It's a very modest request. And if you're telling me that the international community and hundreds of countries cannot rally behind that, then I don't know what the utility of the UN system is, if it can't even solve something as straightforward as that. And I think to both the Chinese and the Russians, I would argue and have argued that it is in their interest for that resolution to pass and for pressure to be brought on Iran. Because it is in their interest not to see international waterways, including the Straits of Hormuz, be closed down and cause economic chaos to dozens and dozens of countries around the world. Okay. Back row, yellow tie. Back secretary.
CVN News, you've had a deep faith for God and country. At the end of the day, with all you involved in, you've been extremely busy.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
As we all know. I got to ask you, what is your hope for America at a time such as this?
My hope for America?
And how do you personally deal with that?
Yeah, look, I mean, my hope for America is what it's always been. I think it's the hope I hope we all share. We want it to continue to be the place where anyone from anywhere can achieve anything. Where you're not limited by the circumstances of your birth, by the color of your skin, by your ethnicity, but frankly, it's a place where you are able to overcome challenges and achieve your full potential. I think that should be the goal of every country in the world, frankly. But I think in the U.S., we're not perfect. Our history is not one of perfection, but it's still better than anybody else's history. And ours is a story of perpetual improvement. Each generation has left the next generation of Americans freer, more prosperous, safer, and that is our goal as well. But it is a unique and exceptional country, and as we come upon this 250-year anniversary, I think we have a lot to learn and be proud of in our history. It is one of perpetual and continuous improvement, where each generation has done its part to bring us closer to fulfilling the vision that the founders of this country had upon its founding. So, all right. I have time for 2 more questions. All right, right there in the pink, you right there. No, that lady, no, the one right next to you in the pink. No, the pink. I'm sorry, I need to get a little better. Now you in the pink jacket, the lady right there. Thank you.
I have a question on Iran-China relations.
Okay.
What's your reaction to Iranian foreign minister visit to China? Also, Beijing instructed its firms to ignore U.S. sanctions. Could you also?
Well, I'll direct you to Treasury on that front. There are options that we have. If you ignore our sanctions, you're going to face secondary sanctions. And I don't have an announcement for you on that today, but we don't do these things, for symbolic purposes. On the first point about the visit, it's fine. I hope the Chinese tell him what he needs to be told, and that is that what you are doing in the Straits is causing you to be globally isolated. You're the bad guy in this. You guys should not be blowing up ships. You should not be putting mines. You should not be holding hostage trying to hold hostage the global economy. I hope the Chinese bring, whether it's done privately, but I hope it's done directly, that's the message they deliver to them. As I outlined earlier today, China is an export-driven economy. Okay, I'm not here to speak on behalf of what's in the best interest of China, but it's in the best interest of China, but it's obvious. China is an export-driven economy. That means they depend on other countries to buy from them. Well, you can't buy from them if you can't ship it there, and you can't buy from them if your economy is being destroyed by what Iran is doing. So it is in China's interest that Iran stop closing the straits. It's harming China as well. Right there. I'm sorry, what's your name? Okay.
Another question about the China-Iran relationship. You said at the beginning of your comments at the top that every single financial situation will be targeted. Does that include Chinese banks? Would the president say
we're going to enforce our sanctions? I don't have an announcement for you. That will have to come from Treasury. But we have sanctions in place, and sanctions don't mean anything unless you're going to do something about it. So I think that's been clear. I think Treasury will follow up with any specific announcement. Suffice it to say, we're serious about our sanctions. A cost needs to be imposed on Iran for what they are doing. Otherwise, if they get away with this, guys, if they get away with pulling this thing off without paying a price for it and backing down, you're going to see multiple places around the world where other countries are going to be tempted to do the same. This is unacceptable. Again, I want to reiterate the point. We keep arguing back and forth about the war and the shooting and this and that and the other. These guys are shut down an international waterway. The Straits of Hormuz do not belong to Iran. They don't have a right to shut it down and blow up ships and lay mines. And that's what they've done. That needs to be addressed. Otherwise, and it cannot be normalized under no circumstance until we live in the world where we accept, okay, this is normal. You have to coordinate with Iran. You have to pay them a toll in order to go through the Straits of Hormuz. Not only is that unacceptable in the Straits, you're creating a precedent that can be repeated in multiple other places around the world. The whole world should join us in this condemnation, and the whole world should join us in doing something about it, by the way. It shouldn't just be us. We're hoping to get countries. We're going to give them a chance to do something about it at the United Nations. All right, go ahead, last question. That lady right there in the white.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, I'll do two more and then I gotta go. Yeah, go ahead. Iran is shown what? Okay.
Something feels different. I'm changing. I don't know if I like who I'm becoming.
You think you're some kind of hero. Monster.
Doesn't make any fucking sense. Got going on here? Fucking shite. One, two other. Okay, that's making more sense. Fuck it. Holy fuck.
This one is that I was in jail before, y'all. On everything, okay, girls gonna visit you, you know what I mean? Rehabilitation, you know what I'm saying? I'll be cheating, but I'm playing holy right. Check it out, y'all. Well, I'm in the wrong time to swing. I get a trip down here. I don't want to sit down now. I never do it now. I don't want to be a swing now. I said, baby, if you love me, so we can cut on the chubby tip. Around the point stand, I'm here to show my money man. Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna think about this body man. Who am I gonna do? I'm gonna serve the next day. Hallelujah, my God, say oh. Say oh. One, two, 1, 2.
Holy fucking crazy.
The truth is, this is the most iconic place in the motherfucking world. I was talking to the press, I said, listen, if I come to London, I'm not gonna take my motherfucking A game. Now do me a favor. Everybody put one hand in the goddamn bag. Everybody! One hand in the air. Now check this out. When I say, do you feel good? I want everybody in the house to say, feel good. Now do you feel good? I said, do you feel good? Turn your motherfucking lights out. Make it black. All my life, everything. We're such a fucking movie. We're going to content on their ass. Now, DJ Rock! That's cool. So long. I don't know what the fuck to do. There's so many hits. We did the dance. We did that. How many people out there with the old school go on running and see people that know about raising hell and black people? You did. That's what we're for the old school people that come from way back. That's what the people that actually had a fucking cassette in this. Cassette tape in your fucking car. Not even a CD. CDs are gone. That's so funny. CDs are gone. So listen, they know CDs are gone. Nobody here should know about cassette. Who knows about cassette tape? Turn the lights on. We will take it back. Turn the lights on. I will take it all the way back to 1983. I want to go all the way back to 1983. I'm not even talking about raising hell. I'm talking about I'm talking about before my first album. So listen, I'm gonna count to 3, right? And we will all jump up and down like we lost our motherfucking mind. Come here. And this is just for the people who know about this shit. You ready? You ready, y'all? We go for 1, 2, 3, and here we go.
What the fuck? Okay, well, I'm pretty sure I did that fucking totally wrong. Ugh. What the hell? What the fuck? motherfucker. Ugh.
1, 2, 3.
They want to find out about the UFOs.
Why do millions of Canadians trust their money with Coho? They trust the progress. Our best-in-class app gives you the tools to make your money grow and make life better every single day. You get a secure MasterCard, cash back, high interest, credit building, convenient ways to borrow, and so much more. Sign up for your free trial of Coho today. It's time to trust the progress.
They want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material. And we're going to be releasing a lot of things that we have. And I think something that's going to be very interesting to people.
Many historic developments in a story that I've been working on for 5 years, but our next guest has been working on for much longer. So let's start here. My interest was piqued when Barack Obama said this in 2021.
When it comes to aliens, there's some things I just can't tell you on air.
I was so curious about that, so I asked the only man I knew at the time who could possibly help.
President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is?
I would ask him again. Thank you.
Not very helpful, Joe. I haven't had a chance to ask Barack Obama, and it had been eating at me, and then he said something else.
Are aliens real? They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in Area 51.
If the last president couldn't help us with answers about aliens, maybe this one could. Spoiler alert, he did. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he ain't classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information.
Jeremy Corbell is an investigative journalist and the co-host of the Weaponized podcast. He knows more about this than anybody, and the new movie about him, Sleeping Dog and UFO Disclosure, is excellent. I watched it yesterday. Jeremy, there are 46 videos that Congress wants the Pentagon to declassify. The Pentagon missed the deadline to do it, but will these 46 videos be convincing enough to have Americans saying, I have no doubts aliens have visited Earth?
You know, I think that these are data points. I think these 46 videos are really important. I think the American public should be able to see them, and so does Congress. They specifically identified these 46 videos because they know that these videos exist. They are designated UAP by our own military and intelligence services. I have been exposed to a number of these. In fact, George Knapp and I provided that list to Congress. We've actually released some of those videos. So the American public is ready for this. Now, what it's going to tell us, what the end result is going to be, it's another data set of footage the American public can look at. But here is what I know for a fact, Peter. There are machines, there are craft of unknown origin that fly with impunity in our restricted airspace. And our government has been assessing this as a national threat for decades. The jig is up. People now know UAP are real. But what are UAP? Who are flying these machines? Who made these machines that can outpace, outmaneuver, and outperform our greatest war fighters? That's the question.
And so you were just talking about this. We've got video that we can put up on the screen. One of the videos that your sources helped you guys get out of a government vault. It is a UAP over Syria in 2021, flying at an impossible speed, demonstrating instantaneous acceleration. This is the video. A lot of people will look at this and say, well, it could be China, it could be Russia, it could be somebody else. But when you see this and the other videos, some of the 45 other videos that you have seen, what do you think?
Yeah, look, we do not have the capability, unfortunately, for instantaneous motion. The idea of inertial effect and what would happen, this is baffling to the intelligence community. What George and I put out, it is their analysis that this is demonstrating, this craft, which is not aerodynamic. When you look at this video, it instantaneously shoots off to the right once the Reaper drone got a weapons-grade lock on it. So its ability to maneuver is far beyond anything that China, Russia, or the USS. Look, this is a known secret on the inside. It's an open secret that UAP are real and that they're able to evade sometimes detection, but absolutely our weaponry. And it's an issue because they are oftentimes loitering over sensitive, critical infrastructure within the United States. This is not me saying this. This has been admitted by our own administration and government. I think we're closer than ever. The intent is to bring the truth forward to the American public. We are closer than ever, and it's just got to be done now.
And my last question, we have 2 minutes left in the show. You've reported that some of these UFO files for generations have been kept secret, even from sitting presidents. Who would have the power in this country to decide, if not the president, that the American people don't have a right to know about something so important like UFOs?
Right. This is game changing, and it's nature itself. It's not something that should be held back. And presidents have admitted that they have been held out from that information. Very famously, President Clinton talked about that. Not the first time he said a president's been lied to. Well, now the pressure is on. Congress is asking for these 46 videos. And if we've ever had an administration and a president that sees the public interest and would enact upon that for the people, it would be this sitting president. So I'm very encouraged at this moment. We have an opportunity. None of these have really been announcements. It's an opportunity now for the American public to understand the UFO presence is real and that it's been going on a long time, and has been of national security concern.
And we have less than a minute left in the show, but we asked our audience if they had questions for you. And Lena sent one in. She wants to know, are they, presumably aliens, walking around right now and we don't know it?
Yeah, so if we don't get past the first question, we don't get past the first acknowledgement, we're never going to know the interaction that whoever these pilots are of these craft of unknown origin that they believe do not originate here on Earth. If we don't get past that first question, we're never going to be able to answer that question.
Well, we've been trying to make this happen for a long time. Jeremy, thank you so much for being here. This is a story that we will keep asking about at the highest levels of government, so thank you.
Yeah, I encourage people to watch the film Sleeping Dog that's coming out because it does dive into investigative journalism on this, how much progress we've made.
And we will watch. That's all we got. I'm Peter Ducey, Washington. See you next time.
All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.
Is there anything you can do?
Never risk yourself for strangers. Especially when supplies are low. The truth often hurts. But in our game, you'll never be outclassed. If they get outplayed, make them pay the price. Outlive them. Download and experience it firsthand.
What is muckwork? Muckwork is clocking in. Muckwork is sending reminders. Muckwork is sending reminders about reminders. Muckwork is data entry. Muckwork is 234 unread messages. Muckwork is alert routine. Copy, paste, copy, paste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spreadsheets. It's siloed systems. It's database discrepancies. It's manual tracking, logging, backups, and surveys. It's onboarding forever and ever. But what if mud work could be taken away? What if everything just connected and stayed synced? What if everything was secure? What if data was an asset, not a bottleneck? And what if AI was truly useful? What if compliance was streamlined? Prioritization was automatic? What if security was synonymous? What if you have the progress over process?
Talkie.
Welcome to a world beyond
Talkie.
Welcome to times.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
If you've created a conscious machine, it's not the history of man. That's the history of gods.
Keep going. In the center, a point, a singularity. I am.
Oh shit.
I am.
Well, that's happening.
I am. You are what?
Where's it at?
Hello, students. Yes, that's right. I'm coming to you live from the Strait of Hormuz right now. I decided to do something a little bit different with this show, a little bit of citizen journalism. Because after all, I think we've all lost faith in mainstream media and their constant lies. Case in point, just looking out the window here, there's nothing going on. It's pretty calm. It's like nice even. So tell me, why is mainstream media saying the complete opposite? Iran attacked ships in the Strait of Hormuz after Trump extended ceasefire.
It's not clear whether Iran or Israel will abide by the extended ceasefire. Overnight, at least 2 ships came under attack in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian state media claims Tehran seized the vessels.
All right, well, where's all this happening? Because I'm right here and I'm not seeing any of that.
We've got a very serious situation developing in the Strait of Hormuz. We understand at least 2 vessels, possibly a third, have essentially been impounded, taken by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard.
Stupid, lying mainstream media. This is exactly why I had to come here and see for myself. Judging by the comments, you guys aren't buying this either. Well, I don't know, but I think
impossible to believe anything I see in the U.S. media coming from the U.S. government. Sorry.
I'm just incompetent, sir. I see what the straight here. Fakest war ever.
The taint of Hormuz.
Watch more Baywatch.
In basic news channels, people just don't trust you anymore. They trust me, the citizen journalist. Check this out. CBS, more like me penis, which is what you guys sound like. For real though, you do sound like my penis, which I can make fart if I take a deep enough breath. And post, alright. Hey, yo, Captain J. Hey, me. Let's get a little bit closer to the action. Yeah? I mean, these guys deserve to know the truth.
What are you looking at, cunt?
Bro, not in the cold open. Hey guys, so I thought I heard some screaming earlier, so I went outside to check it out. It was just people surfing, having a great time. Why are all of our governments lying to us about what's going on here in the Strait of Hormuz? Why is the news lying to us? What is the goal? Well, typically, in times like this, I can count on my man, Alex Jones, to spread the truth. So what do you got, Alex?
28 times he said the war is won. 10 times he said the strait was open. He says, Israel, I order you not to attack. Israel doubles attacks. They make a fool out of him. And then he turns around with a truth social saying, Israel doesn't tell me what to do.
Yeah, Alex, speak your truth, bro.
Look at all the seal clappers running around saying, look, we've got a peace deal. Iran is completely capitulated. The strait is completely open.
Who's this guy? He's not Alex Jones.
How many times did he say the strait is open before the stock market doesn't listen?
So this how you're trying to throw them out, Spotless cows won't play your games.
Can't believe I actually listened to this guy for 10 years. Boy, do I miss Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, no, the butthurt traitor. You're just pissed because Trump called you out for your stupid bullshit lies. Shut the fuck up.
You think it's all worth it, Alex? Being a sellout? You've become a laughing stock.
I'm unfollowing you. I feel like you are a wolf in sheep's clothing. How dare you not support Trump?
I see the truth. Thank you, God. Oh, come on now. You're part of the fake news. The blatant lies. Just like the Sandy Hook lies.
Oh, easy. We don't talk about that anymore.
He brings everybody in. He says, hey, let's practice using nukes. I want to practice using the nuclear code.
Great to see middle-aged newsies are still getting work. Nice of you to get this one all cleaned up and doing what he loves. I'm sorry to hear about his future Waymo accident when he tries to demonize. And tweets. Well, I guess I'm going to have to dig deeper. See if anyone in here sees what I'm seeing out there. And why would they lie to us? What's the plan? Iran attacks and seizes commercial ships after Trump extends ceasefire.
Tonight, the Iranian regime putting out video claiming to show its troops attacking and seizing commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The images, set to music, show them masked and armed.
No, I feel like I would have seen that. That didn't happen.
From the Pentagon announcing that Secretary of the Navy John Phelan...
Whoa, hang on a second. That's a green screen.
It's just the latest Pentagon shakeup.
Son of a bitch, they're faking the whole thing. How did they get all the cinematic footage?
Who's pirate?
Nice. They pre-hired a cameraman for those natural shots. Looks like a planned short movie. Like the AI built. This is all obviously fake. Why would an actual news outlet even show this? People are really totally delusional to believe this happened. This looks AI-ish. Oh, that ship is empty. I'm thinking this is a staged attack.
Be serious, ABC.
The war is dumb. Looks like AI. Daddy, what is happening?
This is so fake. Looks like a game I play. What a joke.
Oh, thank God. The fake news hasn't brainwashed everyone yet. I'm going to do what I can to help. My social outcast of a son can generate better AI hostage situations on the touchscreen of a stolen Kia. And sometimes I just want to throw that boy into a wall, see if it resets his respect for me. That's how my old man brought me to heel. But there's something to be said about the chains that bind us, rusting over time before they break. He's not bright or talented, my son, but he still carries my name. That said, I am still sending him to war the first chance I get. War was made for kids like my little idiot son. We would flood the front lines with the most eager reprobates who graduated. You know, turn a bunch of boys into men. The dumb ones die, the smart ones come back. And our nation's IQ goes up overall. That's what war used to be. Call me old-fashioned, but I think it's nice that President Trump is reigniting that tradition. Maybe after I bury my boy, we can get back to making cars here again. And close. Hey, Captain J, how's it looking out there? Anybody shooting at each other?
Yeah, all this cow. Oh, shit. What was that?
Oh,
Getting a little close for comfort, it is.
all right, well, I guess I was wrong. It is a war zone outside, and we're going to have to get to safety. I can't die before I play today's ad, though, so let's
roll the ad. Oh, God. All right, eyes up, people. We got reports that our target's been spotted. Show me security cameras. We got something over here. All right, send it to Dancy's computer. Jesus Christ. That's Jason Bourne. And he's using Saley. Saley.com/big money, or scan the QR code on screen right now. The eSIM app that gives you affordable data plans at over 200 destinations. Yes, the all-in-one eSIM app that's easy to use. Plus, you get 15% off with coupon code BIGMONEY at checkout. In fact, I use it whenever I'm traveling locally. Why the fuck would you do that? I can use the data plan as a mobile hotspot instead of using shady hotel Wi-Fi. No, he's right. That is a very convenient way to use Saley.com/big money. We're scanning the QR code on screen right now. Hey, show me some more Jason Bourne right now. Oh shit, is he using a different Saley phone? Alright, this is worse than I thought. Can you pull up his browsing data? I can't. He's using Saley Ultra. Explain that like I had no fucking clue what you're talking about. Sir, Saley Ultra gives you a monthly high-speed data plan. It also comes with VIP travel perks like airport lounge access, fast-track services, priority support, plus advanced online security. Possible. You mean NordVPN, NordPass, NordLayer, and Incognito all come free with a Saley Ultra subscription? Coupon code BIGMONEY for 15% off? Also, you can cancel anytime. Damn it! Show me Jason Bourne just one more time. When did he put that disguise on? It's great! We're losing him. Well, thanks to Saley.com/big money. We're scanning the QR code on screen right now. Yep. He's gone. He disappeared into a crowd again. Yeah, he also killed all the guys we sent after him. All right, look, send more guys. How many? I don't know, 4 or 5. I'll do that fun thing where we select them from all around the world, and then they got to travel to where he is. Well, make sure they're using the Saley app, so they have, high-speed data plans while they're traveling. I think I just found Jeff Epstein. All right, eyes up. I want eyes up on that. That's him, right? No, that's just Palm Beach Pete.
I'm not Jeffrey Epstein. I'm Palm Beach Pete.
See, there you go. But definitely keep looking for him, because he's still out there. All right, I gotta go. I've been holding in the biggest shit this whole time. All right, guys, we have got to get these mannequins out of here. Go scan the QR code to get the free Saley app. Coupon code BIGMONEY for 15% off your data plan at checkout. Oh, hey, false alarm, guys. Those weren't bombs. That was actually fireworks going off over the beach. I guess they're celebrating. I don't know, maybe celebrating the ceasefire or something. But just know that there's still no war going on. Everything's quite peaceful and nice. A bunch of celebrations. So, yeah, mainstream media is definitely lying. Citizen journalism wins again. Hey, Joel, shall we dock? You want to dock the boat? I don't know, man. It seems a little dangerous. We can pull it right up to the boardwalk. Oh, yeah, there is a boardwalk. It's like the liveliest shore town I've ever seen. It's lovely this time of year. I'll get you up on a cake. Captain Jay, how could you let mainstream media lie for so long about this? I stopped watching the news a long time ago. Okay, I get you, but I'm a citizen journalist now.
Doesn't describe us.
But I only do good news that makes you feel better, not shitty news that makes you feel bad, like this. Top condom maker to hike prices as Iran war hurts plastics.
We do see some shortages in synthetic rubber. Nitrile has been rather short. We are still able to get supply. However, prices has already doubled.
Good, we can get the birth rate back up. Yeah, or we can leave a comment like this. That's why I only buy American-produced condoms, which are made of beef jerky. You can eat them afterwards and give them a good shake and pose. All right, well, if you're just tuning in now, this is citizen journalist Salvia reporting live from the Strait of Hormuz. What's that? The Strait of Hormuz, where we are right now? No, we're not. What? Well, then where are we? We're at the shores of Santa Cruz. What? I thought that was what you said. No, dude, I said Strait of Hormuz. Oh, my God. So that's why it only took 2 hours to get here. Okay. I only do tours of the California coast. All right, well, I guess I don't know what's going on at the Strait of Hormuz because I'm not there. So anything could be going on there. Maybe the news is right. I don't know. I would disregard this whole video if I were you. If you really want to know what's going on at the Strait of Hormuz, though, I like listening to this guy and his psychic orbs. Chris Bledsoe on President's interest in UAPs, NASA missions, and summoning orbs. Reality check.
When we see Israel and
Iran doing their thing, and the orbs begin to appear. From that point forward, they're going to begin to awaken the people, and there was no stopping it. And if we went to war, they would stop it.
Hey, Captain J, what's the J short for? Jamiroquai. Hey, that's crazy. My favorite band is named Jamiroquai. Must be a coincidence, laddie. I don't believe in coincidences, Captain J. I believe in future-telling orbs.
Because this April date might just have something come back here and land and get out.
April 2026.
Yeah.
And okay, you know, you put yourself in it there, Chris.
Yeah, you see right there, Captain J. Now, how would he have known that?
Maybe he didn't.
What?
Just saying, laddie. Maybe he didn't.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
And again, I put this in writing back in 2012. I handed it to Timothy Taylor, which he took to NASA, to the Pentagon.
Well, he called it in 2012. Count that.
I was told there's structures on the moon.
What? So is a breath of fresh air. It is entirely credible, in my humble opinion. Remote viewers have documented alien bases on the moon, and I find their evidence credible. Thanks, Ross, for having Chris on for an excellent interview.
Ross's living proof journalism is not dead. Chris killed me twice through the lady. He's telling the truth.
He does not summon the orb. He invites them, but with a loving heart.
Wow, this man was not lying. Almost every section of this video is happening now in April 2026. Well, we could use some of those orbs about now.
All right, well, I had the orb come to me in my dreams last night, so I already know what comment I'm leaving. Yo, can you ask your orbs if my wife is going to cheat on me during her business trip to Jamaica? Because if so, I'd like her to come back to my corpse being eaten by our cat Sprinkles. I don't like the way you're using your orbs, bro. Hey, spare me one orb so I can share the future right and not waste it by going on dumbass interview shows nobody has heard of. If I were you, I'd be a CBS anchor surrounded by orbs telling us what tomorrow's news will be. And then Fox can get some other freak with more orbs to see even further into the future. That's the future I want, you self-righteous bastard. You have a gift. Stop hogging it. You need to use it to scare the shit out of anyone who has never read a book. Now, at least you got the future-telling orbs. I'm over here with the orb variant that crams itself up my asshole like a bunch of anti-gravity anal beads, which then fly me over train tracks while troubled youths throw rocks at me. But in conclusion, the main reason this beautiful man should consider himself lucky is that we used to bang metal rods into their brains when they said stuff like this. I much prefer today's treatment, which is to hand them a microphone and make the necessary medications unaffordable. And pose. All right, guys, well, this one's my bad. Just kind of a real misunderstanding here. So leave a comment below about what's actually happening in the Strait of Hormuz, and I promise next time I'll actually go there. Probably as a drafted soldier, though.
All right, you ready to get that photo cake?
Yeah, I want some phone cake.
Big money, Celsius City. Big money, Celsius City. Big money, Celsius City. Big money, Celsius.
Hang on, did you just say the Strait of Hormuz? Well, these frogs aren't gonna like that. That's why they pick me up. So go ahead and pick up this gay frog pile t-shirt from neongrizzly.com. Well, there you can also get our Seashore Investigations t-shirt. This is a very popular item considering all the investigations that have been ceased lately. And once again, we have restocked the Salvi and Sons book chasing t-shirt. Ain't no Planet X coming because ain't no space because ain't not Glover t-shirt. And don't worry, you can wear this around without worrying about anybody thinking you're crazy. I wear it around, that's how I found my gay wife. And in case you're the kind of person who likes asking questions, yeah, we got the shirt that says just asking questions with a little pigeon underneath. All that and more on the neongrizzly.com store.
I'm the Enforcer, and I'm accompanied by Enforcer Matt.
And good evening, folks. It's Enforcer Matt, and welcome back to day 1531 of the War News Stream. And tonight we have massive news out of Iran and also pretty big news out of Russia as well. We have heard that explosions have erupted at Iranian ports this evening, and also in the Strait of Hormuz near Qasem Island. And also another big one. This is a bombshell report. The U.S. Navy has just abruptly ended ship escorts in the Strait of Hormuz out of the blue. Right after at the press conference today, they said they were going to start focusing on that. Now they suddenly canceled it a couple hours later. So that's a huge one. Also, Ukraine has launched another massive missile attack using long-range ballistics on Russia, and it looks like they've taken some massive hits. But it's good to see you all once again.
And of course, we're going to be covering the past 24 hours of the news from around the world, as we have been able to hear significant developments within the Middle East as far as the United States' position on the ongoing conflict with the Islamic Republic of Iran, and significant developments that have emerged in the war in Ukraine, as the Ukrainian armed forces have continued to